I'm going to talk about God, and I'm going to talk about alcoholism. If either of those things bother you, please scroll, unfollow, do whatever it is that you feel compelled in your heart to do. Dana Jill asked me really when I told her that her story she shared on this comment on this video related a lot to me and my alcoholism. She's talking about a narcissistic marriage where she begged God to help and save her. Just go watch the video, please, at least after this video, if not before. But I want to share a story with you that, ironically, my brand being vulnerability, I've never shared with the internet. And I don't know why. I think I was looking for the right time and the right words and the perfect way to say it, but this was such an impactful part of my journey that I've shared it with so many loved ones in my personal life. I don't know why I haven't told you. There was a point in time where I was living in a man's house who was connected to my mom when she was doing bad things before she went to prison, and it was the only place I had to stay, and I was lonely. This man was much older than me. Things like that were not happening. This man truly was just helping me from the goodness of his heart. But his home was uncleanly, and I didn't have the means to do much other than drink at the time. I laid on a mattress on the floor, and my dog would just go crazy because there was mice living in the mattress, and I can't believe that was my reality. It's so surreal. I get emotional because I can't believe that my life now is my life now. But the point of this being is, one night I was in this man's house and I was belligerently drunk, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I've tried. And I thought, I don't know what's out there. I don't know who's out there. I don't know who's listening, but someone's gotta hear me. Someone's gotta hear me asking and begging for help. Someone has to hear me saying I can't do this on my own. It feels like no one's listening. I decided that there has to be someone, something that's gonna listen to me if I talk out loud, because I felt like every time I said it in my head or I tried to say a prayer or whatever it may be, I'd get distracted, or I didn't follow through, or I wasn't focusing enough. So for 2 hours straight, I talked out loud to God, and I asked for so many things. And I remember feeling guilty. I remember saying to him, I only ever ask you for things. I only ever ask you to help and to fix things, and I never thank you for anything. And then I searched my heart and my mind for things to thank him for, and I couldn't come up with anything other than I was still alive. I'm sorry. I'm trying to collect myself. This is a long story. There was a point in the prayer where my heart felt like solid iron, like nothing could get through to it, and like it was the heaviest thing. And I just asked for, I said, all the resentment, that girl that hurt my feelings in 3rd grade, that best friend that I had in 5th grade that I found out wasn't really my friend in 8th grade, all the things that I had hate for in my heart. I said, please remove them because I don't have any more room in here. I said, just take it, just take it, please, take it all from me. And I said, and I can't quit drinking, so if you have to take everything from me, everything that I have, please take it from me so that I can quit drinking. I'm sorry for getting so emotional, because I know it's not fun to listen to someone who is stuttering and being emotional and trying to get out their story, but I do feel like it's important, and I'm nervous because I don't know how this is going to be received, and I still feel like I don't have the perfect words to describe to you and convey to you the impact that evening had on my life, the choice and decision that I made to talk to whoever was listening out loud. I'll tell you right now that if anyone was in that house and anyone came in there and seen me talking to myself like I was, they would have sent me to a mental institution. I was crying. I was so drunk. I was crying, but I remember all of it so vividly. I started running myself a bath because I needed to calm myself down, and you guys know baths have always been one of my coping skills, one of the only healthy ones, actually. And around that time was when I was asking for all the hate to be removed from my heart, and I felt my shoulders go like this. And I sound freaking crazy. I know that I do, but it literally was like weight was lifted off my shoulders that I didn't realize was there, and all of a sudden my shoulders sat normal. And it was so intense that to this day I know I sound crazy talking about it. It feels crazy that it happened. And after that, my life went back completely the same. The same struggle, the same amount of alcohol, the same fight for finding money to keep drinking. And 14 months later, I wrecked my vehicle one more time. I flipped it 3 times, was trapped upside down in it, embedded in an embankment. I couldn't get out. There was hot, sticky liquid everywhere, and I didn't know what it was. And someone knocked on the back door and said, "Are you in there? Are you okay in there?" And I said, "Yes, we can't get out. Please let us out." A friend at the time was with me in the vehicle, and I just remember bracing myself twice because I thought she was going to fall into me, and that's how I knew that we had rolled and flipped. That and the fact that when I reached for the dome light, all I could feel was the floorboards. The person on the other side of the car said no, and I remember being confused and still trying to find my way out, and thought maybe I can get out the front door. And a few minutes later, firefighters opened the door and helped us out. And I realized that the hot, sticky liquid was just some kind of oil or antifreeze or some kind of substance from the vehicle. I have no idea how it didn't catch fire. And when I realized all of our limbs were working and there were no cuts or bruises or scrapes or bones broken, it was like something just snapped and switched in me. And I thought, how disgusting of a human do you have to be to not value the life you have been given? I was so angry at myself. And in that moment, I was so worried. But I just did what I always did, I think. And I just kicked into action. And I thought, I'm going to change everything right now. I'm going to change everything about what I'm doing right now from this point on and see if it changes my life. Because if it doesn't, that's proof to me that life isn't worth living. And if it does, yay. I was very matter-of-fact about all this. I wasn't emotional in regards of like being scared. I was resistant. I didn't want to quit drinking alcohol. I didn't think about it too much, though. I just did it. I just did it. And it wasn't, I totaled my car. I was door dashing for a living, so therefore I had no job. I had just gotten a place that my roommate I had kicked out because he was insane, if you guys don't remember that story. And so now I was left to fend alone for my bills, no way to make money. I was worried about my dogs and feeding them and paying rent, and I had people in my life that helped me and that I paid back, and I started selling my artwork, and I couldn't believe that it sold, and I borrowed my mom's car, and I started working and paying my bills and got rid of everything that was related to alcohol in my life. And it wasn't until a year later, after the wreck, which was 2 years from the day that I had that 2-hour long conversation out loud that looked like should have sent me probably to an institution, that I realized I had asked for everything to be taken away from me. Please just take everything away from me if it means I can quit drinking alcohol. I didn't have insurance on my car. I owed $9,000 on that car. I just closed and paid out that loan last weekend. All that to say that all things are possible with God. In my experience, I never want to push anything on anyone, but I'm regretful that I've never shared this part of my story. And if you've listened to all of this, thank you. And if you've supported me in any way, thank you, because you helped me get to where I am. If you're sober today, I love you. And if you're trying to get sober today, I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you. Go watch Dana's video.